Guys and girls, it's Know It time!
Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to convert from decimals to percent to fractions, all without using a calculator. Your calculator will come actually tomorrow, but for now we're going to keep it simple. So I want to train how to do this without using a calculator first. So guys and gals, it's Know It time. Your favorite time of the day. 1, 2, 3, and I believe I have one more line for you. 4. That's it. Here is, let's create a little chart. Let's go for create a little chart. And I'm going to guide you how to fill in this chart, but for now we're going to keep it simple. So let's keep it. Here's my chart. Again, try to create a chart as best as you can. How big should it be? Well, it doesn't really matter for now. But let's just have a simple chart. Here, we're going to have decimals. Here, you can have fractions. Actually, now I'm going to do percent here. And here, you're going to have fractions. Okay. Here's how it works. Without my help whatsoever, let's say somebody in here got 80%. Okay? A student in my class is 80% on the test. What would they get as a decimal, and what would they get as a fraction? I'm going to pause it, and let's see who can figure out without my help. Go back to grade 7. Let's see what your grade. So let's start with this. The key really is percent. Back in the days, let's start today with Charlene. Haven't talked to you in ages. Charlene, how do you convert percentage to decimals? So what would this be in decimals, do you know? Steven, help her out. 0.8 is correct. Or if some of you say, Mr. No, let's go 0.80. Kieran, hand that in to me. Chop chop. I see everything that happens in my class. Remember that. Nothing escapes. So guys, I'm going to give a little hint on how to do this. Percent to decimals. Okay? Here's my step to success. Percent to the. So my first heading is, if you're given percent, how do you work with decimals? Here's how you do this. Move to decimal places to the left. Okay. Whatever my percent is, I move it to the left 2 decimal places. So imagine you have a little dot right here. Watch what I'm going to do. I go 1, 2, and that's why it's 0.80. If I want to go the other way, you move it to the right. Okay? Move if you want to convert percent to, if you want to convert decimals to percent, decimals to percent, move it to the right. Okay. So you work left and right. I'm not going to fill this in yet. I'm going to give you another question. What if on the exam, one person here got 1.12? They go home to their mom and say, Mom, I got 1.12. as a decimal on my exam? Did this person do really well or really poorly? Get crack-lacking. Good luck. See, I'm going from decimals to percent. If you want to go from decimals to percent, move it to the right. So here's my decimal place. Watch. 1, 2. Therefore, the answer is 112%. So if I say you got 1.12 on your exam, it's actually a good thing, which means you got a bonus question correct. Now, to go from percent to fractions. Percent to fractions. Okay. Again, I didn't use any calculator. Here's what you're going to do. Put your percent over 100 and try to reduce. Here's what a lot of you didn't do. A lot of you didn't reduce. We're going to go back. Okay. So we're going to put 80 over 100. Here's where some of you fell through the crack. I want you to reduce that. Fatima, what would you get if you reduce that? 4 or 5 is correct. Most of you would say, hey, Mr. No, it's 8 over 10. But 8 over 10 can be broken down further. That's 4 over 5. Try this one. 112%. What is it going to be as a fraction? I'm going to pause it. Harneet, what do you have? What's there? 28 over 25. If you're lost, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 112, put it over 100. Now I'm going to reduce. And all you're going to do is reduce. Some of you say, hey, that's... If you reduce it as far as you can go, you should have 28 over 25. Okay? It's all about reducing. Next thing, a few more minor tricks and hints. Star. Your fraction cannot have a decimal place. Cannot, this is crucial, have a decimal place. Because fractions and decimals don't get along. To solve this, move the decimal to the right. And add in zeros. I'm going to explain what this means. It sounds confusing, but I'm going to give you a few questions to try. Okay. Try this one. Let's say I calculated your exam and someone in here got 80.5%. Tell me what did they get as a decimal and tell me what they get as a fraction. Now fraction is going to be a bit tricky because your number is going to be fairly large, but I want you to do decimal first. 8.05 is not correct because how many places I'm moving this to? 1, 2. So your decimal right now is in front of this. So this one is going to be 0.805. Okay. Here comes the tricky part. Robin, what do you think you have for this one?
805 over 1,000.
Okay, let's see if you're right. Let's write this normally first. 80.5 over 100. But the problem is, look, there's a decimal in your fraction. Move this 1 to the right. Every time you move 1 to the right, you add a 0. So really, this is 805 over 1,000. And I don't do anything more. Normally, you should try to reduce, but since you don't have a calculator, I'm not going to force you to reduce these big numbers. One more question. I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a super no question. Good luck. Your chart, fill this chart in. And if you get it absolutely correct, Marina, can you do a favor for me? Can you chop some cards out? I think I ran out. I chopped most of it already. It just Let's see how you can solve this, and this is your supernova question for today. Again, nothing too bad. This is going to be decimals. Everything has to be correct. This is going to be percent. This is going to be fractions. I'm going to give to you as a decimal. Actually, no, I'm going to give it to you as a fraction. Somebody in here got 2 out of 5 on an exam. They asked me, you must know what percent did I get and what is it as a decimal. Without using your calculators, I want to see who can solve this question. If you look at my fractions, notice one thing. Every one of my fractions really is over 100. But the problem with this is not over 100. If it's not over 100, it's bad. Kieran, let's make this 100. So let's go something over. What do I multiply 5 by to get to 100? Oh, close. Gurjo, what do you multiply 5 by? 20. So you go times 20. Okay. What I do to bottom, I gotta do to top. So Furby, what number goes up here then? 40. So in reality, this number is actually 40. If that number is 40, it just needs, what's your percent going to be? 40% is correct. Jordan, if it's 40%, what is my decimal place going to be? I'll give you a hint. It's 0.40. Because I'm moving this decimal place to the left. Guys, this is how we work with converting back and forth. Because on your exams, a lot of people like to ask, Mr. No, what if I got this? What percent did I get? One more question for you to try. What if your fraction is somebody got as a fraction 2 1/2. So someone in here got as a fraction 2 1/2. What percent did they get? Sufin, what percent is that? Sorry? Do you convert it? The answer is yes and no. It's up to you if you want to convert it or not. So I want to know, what did this person get? And what is their decimal going to be? Okay. Is 2 1/2 a good score or a bad score? That's what you got to think about. Tyro, haven't talked to you in ages. Tyro, what is 2 1/2 as a percent? Do you have an answer? You don't know yet? Dilpreet, take it. 250 over 100? It is correct. So now go back to Sufian's question. Sufian asked Mr. No, do you really need to write this as a mix or as improper? The answer is up to you. If you want to, you could. Let's write this as 5 over 2. Okay. Now 5 over 2, if you want to just do this converting, this is going to be 100. I times this by 50. And I times this by 50 gives me 250. Okay. So Sufyan, what's 250 over 100? What percent is that? If you get 250 over 100, what's your percent going to be? 250%. So guys, gals, this is 250%. Okay. Rachel, what's your decimal going to be, Rachel? 2.50 is correct. See, imagine you have a decimal place right here. Move it to the left. 1, 2. And it lies right there. So your decimal place is 2.50. Now, some of you say, Mr. Snow, do you really need to convert? The answer is no. You can actually go straight to here just by looking at it. 2 is actually 200%. 1/2 is actually 50%. So you can add those together and you get 250%. So it's up to you and how you want to do this. Guys and gals, your work for today. And that's it. I'm going to pause it. So your work. Page. Again, no calculators. I want you to learn how to do this by looking at it. Because on your exam, you have to be able to learn how to look at it. Page 135, 136. Numero. 4 B and C. Six. Yep, 135, 136. 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now before you start, I know some of you are going to get in questions like this. What if I give you 75.75%? Okay, let's look up here, because a lot of you are going to get in trouble. They're going to say, what is this as a decimal going to be? And what is it going to be as a fraction? I'm going to show you how to do this right now. The key, see, this is 75 3/4. Highlight 3/4 for me, please. Because a lot of you say, Mr. Snow, what is 3/4? What is that as a decimal? When I work with percent, I cannot have fractions. So let's convert this to a decimal right now. What is 3/4 in terms of decimals? Parneet? 75 or 0.75. So 3/4. So you can rewrite this as 75.75%. Okay. Now, if I want to convert it to decimal, this is going to be 0.7575. Look at the work. Because here's my decimal. I move it 2 places to the left. And that's why I have this. If I want to convert this to a fraction, I can't write 75.75 over 100. This doesn't work. I'm going to move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2. But if I do, guess how many zeros I'm going to add in this time? You're going to add in 2 more zeros. So your answer for this one should be 7575 over 100, but add in 2 extra zeros. Now, I'm not going to make you reduce without a calculator because it's too much work. For now, you can leave it like this. So guys and gals, that's your work. Any questions on this? Get crack-a-lackin', and that's it for today.